We back at it, YouTube. The worst cartel combat footage. Let's get it.
Most people are surprisingly unaware of the type of tactics and violence used by the cartel. But as the conflict with these narco groups heats up, today we're going to shed light on the worst cartel combat footage caught on video. The first narco shootout comes to us from here on the southern border. No, the other southern border. The one between Mexico and Guatemala. That's an armored truck from the Mexican Quick Reaction Force FRIP team. They're chasing down cartel gunmen from their state in Chiapas, in Mexico, across the international border into Guatemala. It would be like if SWAT teams in America chased the cartel into Mexico, shooting them down. It's straight out of Sicario. It's wild. But not as crazy as what happens next, though, because the Guatemalan soldiers appear to not open fire at the cartel members. This guy right there, you see him in the Jeep idling with the hatch. He doesn't shoot at the cartel, while the gunmen take cover behind him. That's the Guatemalan official military there. It's like a ninth ring of hell here. You keep going southern borders, the closer you get to Colombia, the more it gets. But it's about to get even more insane. Covering the ups and downs of geopolitics here, you guys are more aware than most that the world is going through a period of instability and transformation unlike anything in my lifetime, at least. The world's facing record debt and inflation, and that's why I want to introduce you guys to American Hartford Gold. They help people protect their life savings with actual physical gold and silver. These are tangible assets that will not go away or disappear, poof, into the ether overnight when the stock market takes a hit. American Hartford Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews from people who trust them to get it done right. My old squad leader used to always say, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. The point is, American Hartford Gold can ship gold and silver right to your door or help you set up a gold IRA. And right now, if you call them and mention my name, you can get up to $20,000 in free silver with your initial picks, or text CAPPY to 65532, or click the link down below in the description. Bullets slam into the Mexican FRIP team. Another armored vehicle from the Mexican side hits a civilian car trying to stop it dead.
The Mexican army versus the cartel.
There appears to be 4 enemy vehicles and at least 6 tangos on foot. We geolocated the fight to this border town here, La Mesilla. When analyzing firefights, it's important to look at the satellite and the topographical 3D view of the terrain on the ground to get a better understanding of the conditions and the perspective of those who are fighting, not the person that's necessarily taking the footage of it. The Guatemalan soldier in the Jeep with the belt-fed machine gun hanging out the top of the hatch, and he might even be shooting at the Mexican troops with the cartel, just to show you how far this corruption goes. Many in Mexico who see this footage believe the Guatemalan soldiers are colluding with the cartel. One of the rounds looks like it damages the Mexican forces' engine, and stuff starts spewing out of it, and a handful of shots hit their windshield, but it's bullet resistant, so it's unclear if it penetrated. The 3 Mexican armored vehicles return heavy fire at the gunmen. The view from the ground shows just how crowded and packed this main street really is at this border crossing point.
That's scary.
Google Street View won't take you any closer to the border outpost because of security reasons, but we can see it's a crammed tight street here, filled with businesses and people with no room to escape anywhere.
Nah, bro, you got it.
Mexico's President Sheinbaum said everything appeared to show that the Mexican authorities entered into Guatemala. She said that they are investigating it and it is not all right that that has happened, end quote. News reports state that the Mexican troops killed 4 gunmen. This stretch here of the Mexico-Guatemala border has seen Mexican troops killed 4 gunmen.
Mexican police killed 4 gunmen crossed into Guatemala in a dramatic border shootout. Yeah, this is like June 10, 2025.
This stretch here of the Mexico-Guatemala border has seen constant violence in the past 2 years. The Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation cartel have been battling for control against each other here. One of Mexico's governors, Ramirez, said that the cross-border action was justified because, quote, the cartel tries to cross back to Guatemala to evade justice, and that's where we intercept them, and there's the shooting. Our next engagement takes us to Mexico. This is the municipal police office in Veracruz, a city of 500,000 people. The van rolls up innocently enough on a beautiful sunny day. This happened at 11 a.m. It's almost the middle of the afternoon, broad daylight. Even though he's speaking with the woman in red on the motorcycle and he's trying to assist her, he sees the hit coming out of the corner of his eye. Out jumps 4 narco hitmen with AK patterned firearms. We've geolocated the shootout to this exact location here at a tiny, narrow residential street corner with houses tightly packed together. Fortunately for the officer, he had his full situational awareness and he clocked the gunman almost instantly. His reflexes are like spidey instincts. And he clocked the gunman almost instantly. His reflexes are awareness, and he clocked the gunman almost instantly. For the officer, he had his full situational awareness, and he clocked the gunman almost instantly. His reflexes are like spidey instincts. He makes it into the house, into safety. The gunman starts emptying their entire magazines into the house there.
Bro, the lady just watching that shit happen, bro.
But local police are inside the building outside of the camera view, backing the officer up. And gunmen attempted to enter the house, but the police officers returned fire and beat them back. One of the sicarios trips and falls trying to escape. It's unclear if they were trying to maybe kidnap one of them. The getaway vehicle then takes off without the narcos, leaving 2 of their narco hitmen in the dust. Local reports state that they were guarding a house there due to precautionary warnings that day. It's always good to heed warnings and not be complacent. Fortunately, the woman stuck right in the middle of the entire shootout seemed to be okay. Was she knowingly or unknowingly sent in by the cartels as a distraction? The fact that they went through with the hit while a civilian was standing right there between them is savage, instead of waiting for her to leave. Not that that would have been any better, really. This shootout is from the fallout over the killing of the top cartel boss El Mencho on February 22nd, 2026. The Mexican troops are driving through the highways here, trying to clear those narco roadblocks. They often travel in these kind of unarmored, open-top vehicles. You'll see Mexican troops in these because they like to prioritize speed and mobility against the enemy. Once they reach this gas station here, the soldiers recognize a cartel vehicle. It's unclear how they identified it, but often troops will receive from higher up bolos or be on the lookout for a certain type of vehicle.
Yo, what's up with these ads,
apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible or...
So they open fire and they get behind their own vehicle as cover. You can hear the incoming rounds now impacting and landing all around them, slamming into the ground. The soldier whose GoPro that we're looking through here is using the FX05, the 5.56 rifle, which is Mexico's domestically produced in-house firearm for their troops.
That firearm is crazy. Look like a Black Ops 2 weapon.
El Mencho reportedly had an army of 400 elite gunmen that they're fighting here, who lashed out in retaliation with drone attacks, landmines all over the highways. What we're seeing here is the Mexican army attempt to regain control. Thousands more Mexican troops have moved into this location here in Jalisco. I can't show you the footage of what happens next because it's too graphic for YouTube, but I'll say that they do end up winning the firefight, and they do take a few casualties, and they have to apply a tourniquet to one of their buddies. To see more, though, I do an uncensored show weekly on Pepperbox. Link is in the description. This next engagement happened recently in January 2026. It's from Special Forces in the Colombian military, and they're making a high-risk helicopter insertion on a hostage rescue. These troops are inside of a Black Hawk helicopter headed to the objective. Operation Thor is the rescue of Yanis Zabalita, a 29-year-old lawyer who was kidnapped by the ELN drug trafficking network while having lunch with friends. She's been held in captivity for 9 months straight since then by the drug smuggling organization, subjected to isolation, abuse, and received contaminated food. The Black Hawk lands directly in the center of the...
I've never been to Mexico. I was born here, Cali, California, Pomona Hospital. Grew up in San Bernardino, Colton, my whole life, you feel me? But man, do I not want to go over there anytime soon, man. Man, if y'all living under a rock, man, shit is going down right now. Shit is going down.
enemy camp. They move about 100 meters from the landing zone to the objective, and the assault team dismounts and goes straight there. The infiltration to the objective landing zone went smoothly. They used speed of the Blackhawks to surprise the enemy. These helicopters are armed with the American M134 minigun, and they use the high volume of fire to suppress the cartel.
They caught him lacking and they caught him bush camping.
They're in the Cataumbo area, which for the last year has been a complete war zone with mass kidnappings and clashes. The Special Forces operators approach the shack, where their intelligence determined the prisoners being held. They clear the rooms, and they're able to clear the entire camp quickly as they spread out over the objective. The Colombian soldiers hear the prisoners shout for help. What they find is shocking. They find her being held in a small room, handcuffed to the ceiling. She's given body armor and a helmet for protection as they evacuate her. The hostage is secured within just minutes of touching down on the ground. Many of the enemy guards had fled right at the sound of the helicopters and the miniguns. Exfiltration is the most dangerous part now. The team provides 360-degree security on the ground, while Yanis is safely secured. Everyone loads up and they take off. The crew tends to her on the way back, making sure that she's okay, giving her medical aid.
The
hostage is rescued with 0 killed in action. Local reports from there state that she was safely returned home. Some of the footage I've seen of them taking photos together afterwards is a little bit strange though, not what you would expect. Some people online believe some of this was staged a little bit, with the ransom being paid ahead of time and her location being given up, and this was partly theater. The rescue was done in part by the Yungul Commandos, an elite, highly specialized Colombian unit focused on counter-narcotics, particularly targeting cocaine laboratories in remote, dense jungle terrain. They were established in 1989, and they were trained under British SAS and then later supported by US Green Berets. In the aftermath of the operation that killed the cartel boss El Mencho, this is how the cartel retaliated. The cartel had a full-on generational crash-out. This clip from the cartel's perspective shows them ambushing a National Guard convoy. This security camera footage captures the moment the National Guard checkpoint gets ambushed by one of these hunting parties. It's a little hard to tell from just this one point of view, but the fire is coming down from the street and towards the National Guard vehicles. We can't see any return fire from this perspective, which might just mean that it's off camera or the National Guard personnel are all too suppressed to do anything. Now we can see the cartel gun truck approaching. Note the homemade armor plates welded to the frame and the mounted machine gun. These guys were well prepared and had likely been planning this sort of violence against the government for a long time. There's some muzzle flashes from the truck on the left, so at least one National Guard member is alive. At least I think it's a Mexican National Guard truck. It's hard to tell since the cartels use many of the same vehicles and equipment that the actual Mexican security forces do. They completely surrounded this National Guard position and turned it into a textbook kill zone. This battle was geolocated to this intersection here. First, cartel hitmen are very savvy in the ways of social media, so they've been filming much of their dirty work to show off their gear and hype up their victories. In this engagement, we see the Mexican army do what they do best. The soldiers reach an intersection and everything seems to be going hunky-dory. Then they start taking fire out of nowhere. A civilian red Jeep guns it out of there, trying to get not hit in the crossfire.
Wow, that was a regular civilian.
As the Jeep escapes the intersection, the Mexican soldiers lay down suppressing fire. Cartel vehicles are directly in front of them. They lay into them, unloading their magazines. The Mexican troops point out where the enemy are, they give the distance and direction. The whole squad communicates and takes cover behind the unarmored Jeep, unfortunately. A gigantic round lands near them and it looks like they're taking .50 caliber sniper fire. The tires are shot out of the Jeep and the Jeep sags closer to the ground. If this looks like it's from Iraq or Afghanistan here, it isn't, it's from Mexico. The cartel is using giant IED explosives now and kamikaze drones against the Mexican army.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
guys got
And we see
bombs
how if you
now,
go further south, they get
proximity
even more
mines,
like an insurgent
explosive
force. Here we
drones.
see Colombian special forces engaging FARC narco-traffickers. The flanking maneuver starts off with the soldier reloading his M203 grenade launcher to just shoot shots into the dead zone space and clear out the enemy. We can hear heavy automatic machine gun fire in the distance, incoming and outgoing. We can see at one part where the soldier's recording, you can see he's wearing rubber shoes actually, which indicates that he's part of the Colombian Special Infiltration Command. They start to push forward into the sound of enemy fire. They're attempting to flank the enemy position. It's a risky move. The FARC organization was supposed to have disbanded years ago, but they still linger around like this rash that never goes away. This is taking place in Cauca. Troops from Colombia's National Army arrived here to root out resistance in 2024, and this is what triggered heavy fighting. The soldiers run forward, laying down suppressive fire. He reloads his M203 as his buddy covers him. At this point, they've advanced at least 100 meters forward, and we can see and hear incoming shots just missing them. The buddy team of special operators continues to push forward into the sound of gunfire. The violence of action and the speed is impressive here. Moving like that in the jungle is not easy with full loadout. The operators stop at a dead enemy soldier here for a moment before they press forward again. They sprint forward, realizing that they have an opening here, a window of opportunity. They use the natural geography of the jungle as a kind of trench system to push up without getting hit. Now they're pushing up closer and closer to the enemy camp. Here, they arrive at the camp, which mostly looks like trash thrown all about. They successfully captured the enemy camp and denied them freedom of movement. This is video proof of the cartels operating weaponized drones here. Here, they're using it against a rival gang. They likely learned a lot of these tactics from their time fighting in Ukraine. In February, El Paso Airport in the United States was shut down because of the threat of narco drone incursions, some 2,000 of which are estimated to happen per month at the border. This footage is the type that we rarely see in America. A Sicario is walking casually on a bridge with a belt-fed machine gun. And then they start...
Technology is advancing, and so is deadly weapons. Man, we got... Man, this is some shit that would happen in Black Ops 2. You know what I'm saying? All these flying drones, all these... Man, that shit is insane. Insane, bro.
Spraying it into the sky. These kinds of displays of machismo seem strange to us maybe sometimes in America, but to them it shows how badass they are. It's these displays of equipment that are meant to intimidate everyone. Narco-terrorists are now even using armored freaking narco tanks. Here we see rival cartels fighting each other. This took place right near the American border in Tamaulipas. Both sides are refusing to withdraw. They're shooting each other as the bullets bounce off of their makeshift armor plating. The two sides ram into one another and fire rounds point blank at each other. Then one of the vehicles catches fire. Giant flames are everywhere. They press their advantage because of that and start slamming 50 cal rounds into the enemy vehicle. It's burning and twisted up in the middle of the street. You can hear the Sicarios celebrating their victory. But despite getting blasted, the burning truck continues to return fire at them. Both trucks are in this deadlock, just unable to totally knock out the other cartel, so they keep laying down shots into the opposing side. This footage stood out to me because it shows how militarized the fight against the cartel organization has been forced to become. Black Hawk helicopters armed with miniguns are now regularly spraying rounds into cartel positions. They've become one of the best weapons for the Mexican military. The only question is how long until the US arms them with a couple of Apaches, which is why the Black Hawks have become targets. This Colombia pilot thought that he was safe while hovering, waiting to extract some troops. Suppressing fire is going off all around them. It seems like a war zone in Vietnam. This took place in the jungles of Guavaria, which is where these narco drug trafficking groups hides. It's a lot of where all of these drugs come from and originate, actually. And that's when a round smacks straight into the Black Hawk cockpit windshield. According to reports, the pilot quickly maneuvers out of the line of fire. He then starts checking himself for injuries, going like, oh my god, what just happened? Clearly he's in disbelief. Okay, I don't need to speak the same language as him. I don't need to know Spanish to know that his hand gestures here. He's doing the universal, oh holy shit, my life just flashed before my eyes. Cartels have recently even downed a helicopter in Colombia with a drone, so the risks are even higher. And we'll end with the most aggressive, brazen attack maybe of all time that I've seen. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel. They hit a business in the state of Jalisco. It starts with them pulling up on a mechanic shop. Almost instantly, they start spraying rounds into it. We briefly see as he turns around to his buddies that there are about 5 Sicarios advancing. They push up into the auto shop while spraying fire. They move in as a team, but this is a hit squad of assassins. This is a CJNG stronghold, and this exact type of rural mechanic shop reprisal is seen repeatedly in this conflict zone. There are several possible reasons for this hit. A retaliation killing against locals who they accuse of helping rivals or police. In this war, they target small businesses used by rivals. So mechanic, tire shops, body shops, they hit any cartel logistics nodes. In cartel war zones, mechanic shops are critical. They manufacture the armor plating on the cartel.
They helped repair their rivals' vehicle or whatever. Not it was a auto shop, so they found out, got the word, and ended on. That shit is sad, man. Man, it's probably vlogs with the videos, or it's probably vlogs, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Deuces.